And welcome to a new week of Sunday League to Legend. Here in Football Manager 21 in October 2024, I can tell you that this summer, England have won the European Championship. Congratulations to Carlo Ancelotti, who is currently the England boss. Today's edition here of Sunday League to Legend is a bit of a look behind the scenes. We're giving another one big update as we head into a new league season. This year we've been promoted to the Vanarama National League North. We're actually in the right league for once. Well done, Football Manager 21. But it has meant a whole host of changes. So there's going to be four areas that we're just going to have a quick look at: the squad, competitions, our schedule, and a bit of behind the scenes information. In fact, we'll start there because you may notice that this year Leyland Albion will not be playing their football at Fox Lane. That is to be demolished, and in its place will a new stadium be built on the site, a capacity of 4,404. That's due for completion in June 2025, so 1 year away. In the meantime, we are not at the Lancashire FA County Ground, as we have been previously when Fox Lane was being upgraded. No, instead we are at Mill Farm in Kirkham, which is of course the home of AFC Fylde, somewhere that I know quite well. Problem being that we've had to pay 13k per year for rent, and due to the amount of money that we're spending on the stadium, my wage budget has been slashed in half. Not quite sure how I feel about that. However, what I did notice is that I am finally listed as a club legend. Charlie Tango, now with Leyland Albion for, well, this will be our 5th season going ahead, and I am the only club legend following the creation of Leyland Albion back in 2020. In terms of our squad, this is where there's been a massive overhaul, because one of the things that has been noted perhaps in the last few seasons has been that the playing staff has been quite similar. I tend to stick with the same squad going forward, and that's meant that some people have been with us for the last 4 years basically in the different leagues. Not something that I've done this year at all. The squad has been absolutely gutted, and I've brought in a whole host of new players. If we look at our transfer history, we can see the amount of players that we've brought in on free transfers. We actually paid a wage for once, a fee for once. Andre Brooks from Darlington for 10.5k. We've signed a whole host of new names. I won't go into them all because they will become apparent as the season goes on. Was indeed concerned to lose Declan Lampton to Fleetwood. He was one of the players that was still on out of contract, sort of non-contract terms at the club. There are a few of those remaining, the likes of Mark Kitchen. I think Ben Tozer is on one of those as well. I've just released Josh Langley, so he's on the way out because we've signed some new defenders. Chief among them, the likes of Granite, who came in at the end of last season. And in fact, if we look at the players that have been released, it is a whole host of players. Not only first teamers, but under 23s, under 21s as well. Things have just been cleared out completely. So on this list, the likes of old Diego, who starred in the first season for Leyland Albion, no longer part of the club. Both Alex Bradley and Dan Bradley released. Jack Byrne says goodbye. The big ones are probably Tom Dawson, Connor Finlayson, former AFC Blackpool man, Tom Dawson, who we got from the Holker Old Boys after the end of the first year. They're both not going to cut it at the Vanarama North level. Aaron Morris, a defender, he's found his feet with Chorley, I believe. Raj Pallet, Lewis Salmon, Willie Toucam, and indeed Connor Russo, a recent release. They've all got big minutes last season, as has the likes of David Lynch and winger Daniel, the Spaniard. They were part of the team, but we can't hold on. It's a big step up into the Vanarama North. If we're going to push on, we need some decent players, and that's hopefully what we've bought in for, as you've seen, a relatively cheap amount. The other problem, of course, when I talked about the wages before, that's affected who we can sign. So it has been a bit of a struggle to bring players in, especially because there was an issue with the league. I'll explain in a second. Basically, on the 23rd of June 2024, our players went away for the end of season break. On the 24th of June 2024, they were called back in. But the league only started in October. We're ready. This is our first game. Will be broadcast on Wednesday. So quite what happened, I'm not sure, but it has meant that we have played a host of pre-season friendlies. In fact, we started back in July with Stranraer, and it continued all the way through to just this past week, 2nd of October, when we beat Connors Quay by 4-2. Indeed, we've beaten Warrington in recent weeks. The last two are quite interesting ones. They were additions. I wasn't going to play any friendlies after playing Shamrock Rovers' second side, but the two losses, one to our hosts, sharing their ground at the minute, AFC Filed by 5-4, and then a 3-1 loss to Shamrock Rovers' second team, despite Connor Comer being on the score sheet, meant that I just wanted to get confidence back up, and we did so against Warrington Town and then the Welsh side as well. Plenty of good results as pre-season has gone on. We've played a lot of the local clubs, despite a loss to Bamber Bridge and indeed Bradford Park Avenue, which was a really surprising one. But the rest, we've been competitive. We've been really good performances we've put in for them. So quite happy as far as that's concerned. But yeah, a copious amounts of friendly fixtures before we've even got to the league. We play in the Vanarama North against Scarborough. That's our first game. That's on Wednesday. Then we've got Darlington, Hyde and Brackley before contesting a couple of the cup games. We've been really unlucky to draw Eastleigh in the Build-Based FA Trophy first round. Eastleigh, as far as I can work out, are the only League 2 side in that trophy. So I suspect they shouldn't really be there, but be that as it may, if we look at the first round draw, I can't see anybody else on here that's got League 2 next to the name. As you can see, Eastleigh here, just middle of the screen. So they play in League 2, and there doesn't appear to be anybody else in the whole competition. Oh no, there's Yeovil. Right, okay. Yeovil are there. Anybody else? No. Right, okay. Bit strange. I don't know what's going on there. So 2 League 2 clubs that we could have drawn, and we've drawn one of them away from home. So that is a bit of a worry. The game against Scarborough, as mentioned, will be broadcast on YouTube. Hopefully we can get something from that. You will notice it says that Josh Langley is ineligible. That's because he has been released. So the decision was made very late in the day whether to get rid of him or not, considering the amount of players that we've brought in. And indeed, if we go into our tactics screen, nothing has really changed this summer as we prepare for our new life in the Vanarama League National North. We have sort of shrunk the squad a bit. So last season we could have fielded sort of 2 benches with the amount of squad that we had, some amount of players. So because of that releasing campaign that you saw earlier, we have trimmed down somewhat to the players that we have available, and that I think is really going to give us a bit of a tighter knit group. There's a couple of players that I'm really excited about. One is the Belgian Cheklit, central midfielder, but could play up front. His stats look pretty good, even though he's not taken so well to training as of late, has to be said. But I think him, 30 years old, I think he's got a little bit of experience with the likes of AFC Filed, York. And previous to that, he was actually up in clubs in the Premier League, League 1, League 2. So I think there's something there from him that I would expect. The other one was Ben Smith, and we signed him just at the back end of last season. And I think he's on more money than anybody else at the club. Previously with the likes of Hereford in the Vanarama North, so no stranger to the league that we're going into. And indeed with Eastleigh, he was in the Vanarama National in 2021. Prior to that, he was in fact at Portsmouth while they were in League One. Didn't see a minute there. Mark Kitchen has been retained at left back, but Granite is another one who came in late last season, I believe. Yeah, only played 8 games for us. Previous experience in the Vanarama National with Barrow. So he's our new club captain. And everything's looking really positive around the club. We've got players in reserve, backup. Kuyar, he will play eventually. He's just come back from international duty with the Afghanistan national team, so he'll be back in the side pretty soon. We've also taken a player on loan, young Parker from Luke Parker from Stockport County. Acceleration of 14, pace of 15, so a bit of a nippy player. Hopefully we can get him some minutes on the pitch as the season progresses. In terms of the competitions that we're taking part in, we've obviously got the Vanarama National League North, which begun yesterday, actually, on a Tuesday night for some reason. We've got the Emirates FA Cup, where we enter the first qualifying round in October. The Build Base FA Trophy, as mentioned, we've been drawn against Eastleigh there. And then the Southern League Cup we are in, apparently. Not sure why, considering we're from the Vanarama North, but perhaps that's a hangover to our previous exploits down in the pitching in Southern divisions. So the goal for this season is obviously promotion, but whether that comes as champions or indeed in the playoffs, in the Vanarama National League North, it's only 2 clubs that go up. So this is the sort of the worry really that we'll miss out. 2 clubs go down as well. In our league, the likes of Chorley, who are somewhat local, Southport as well. FC United have started well with a 3-0 win on the first day. Blythe Spartans, I think they're my pre-season favourite actually. Alfreton, good club as well. And then of course the likes of Boston and Darlington, who have a bit better experience. South Shields, great to see in the Vanarama North as well. So they've had a couple of promotions. And there we have Warrington down there, 20th place. So just had a friendly against them and triumphed, obviously. In terms of our tactics, nothing really has changed. There's still some work to be done in terms of set pieces, which I'll go away and do. Picking the right players to take those, and indeed making sure that our corner routines are still on point. But it is the flat 4-4-2. Nothing really has changed. In possession, we're still passing into space, playing out of defence, wanting low crosses from players that run at the defence. If you need to, do indeed pause on this screen and I'll let you have a look at all the different instructions that go along with it. We did start it out as a custom wing play system. It's kind of evolved over time. We've taken bits off and bolted bits on as well. Usually just with roles and with who's marking who. That's always something to look out for regarding each opponent as they come in. And this year, in addition to the playing staff that's been overhauled, the staff have as well, the backroom staff. So James Dodd, no longer our assistant manager, he's gone. Matt Clark has come in his stead. We've also got a host of new coaches as well. And that extends to the under-23s and under-18s. I think it's important to clear out the dead wood and get rid of anybody who doesn't fill you with confidence going into the new season, especially making that step up from what is genuinely non-league to the Vanarama National leagues. Because if you want to be successful there, you've got to be competitive. And the players that we had perhaps were not the right choices to continue with us. We've also brought in a head of youth development this year, and I've put an advert out for a director of football. May as well see what they can bring to us and see if they can improve things. So Wednesday is going to be Scarborough Athletic. Do join me here on YouTube for that. If you have any questions or anything like that, or anything that's going on in the save that you want to know about, do let us know in the comments. I will tell you if I can find it on inbox. that other leagues have already started. So Liverpool, for example, top of the Premier League, they've played 8 games already. And we are yet to kick a ball in anger. So not quite sure what's going on there. In terms of the end of the season, it's down for the end of May, I believe. Yeah, we play Warrington at home in our last day. So perhaps that will be something that we feature here on YouTube. Come back and join us on Wednesday. We'll find out whether Leyland Albion's first game at the Vanarama National North level is successful. We take on Scarborough Athletic at Mill Farm. Thank you.